People online, influencers, content creators, act like they're amateurs, like they could be your friend that you're having a beer with at the pub or something, yet they're marketing to you as an advertiser, as a brand, nonetheless. And it works because you're no longer seeing them as a brand or as a corporate entity, you're seeing them as a friend. Hey everyone, what's up? My name's writerbard. You can call me Kyle. If you haven't watched one of my videos before, I'm a commentary YouTuber who covers trending topics. I know you didn't ask, and you probably don't care, but I wanted to get this video out, so I literally threw on a shirt that's unironed, by the way. Threw on this, and then I just have shorts on, like literally like pajama shorts. Because I'm that invested in this video that I didn't care what I look like, I just wanted to make the video. I've spoken about influencers many times on this channel before, from influencers not following rules and just being careless during a pandemic, throwing parties, to influencers having petty drama that does not need to actually be created, to many other things. I just spoken about influencers a lot on this channel and probably see all the happiness has gone out of my eyes. Tends to happen when you're covering influencers a lot. But today I wanted to dig into a topic that I haven't really seen covered much or at all on YouTube, and basically it's why I don't like certain influencers. And no, it's not going to be about partying during pandemics or just being stupid. And obviously not all influencers are like this. Some acknowledge that they have a responsibility and that their platform is a blessing, but some don't. So in my second year of university, which if you didn't know, I graduated this year during the midst of the pandemic with a bachelor in media, and I majored in communication and journalism. That's a little humble brag, just throwing it out there. And I learned about this phrase during my second year, and it was a phrase that I hadn't ever heard before, and I don't think I would have ever heard about this phrase if I didn't study this content during the class. And the class was about social media, which was really interesting. So this phrase can literally be applied to so many influencers. So whenever you're watching influencers from now on, you won't be able to look at them the same way. And that's either a blessing or a curse, but it's just what happens now. Whenever I look at an influencer's content on Instagram or Twitter, YouTube, I just can't look at their content the same way anymore. So with this phrase, and I'm going to tell you about, basically we had to write an essay about certain influencers who this phrase could be applied to, and then we had to do a 5 to 10 minute presentation in front of a class. Also, yes, I got these little guys here, got a few little friends here who wanted to be a part of the video. They're on top of 2 pillows because they're way too small and literally just see their heads at the bottom here, and I was like, that's unfair. They deserve a fair spot at a fair height, so, you know, I did what I had to do. So the phrase today that I'm going to be talking about is called subversive frivolity. It's a weird phrase, I admit, and if I'm being honest, if I didn't take this class, I would not have known that this phrase even existed. I've been on social media for a long time, not as a creator, that's only been for a short period, but I haven't seen this phrase anywhere, or if I have, it wasn't recognizable enough to actually pick up on it. So basically the text that this phrase is from, that we had to study in class, was called "Aren't These Just Young Rich Women Doing Vain Things Online?" It's a weird title, but it's not finished there. Influencer selfies as subversive frivolity. It's a very long title. Probably why it wasn't recognizable, because it had a title like that. And the author's name was Crystal Abaddon. And the definition of subversive frivolity, and this is going to be taken directly from text abstract because I can't access the text now, I'm no longer at university. So the abstract will have to do: influencers who have emerged as semi-professional selfie producers and for whom taking selfies is a purposefully commercial, thoughtful and subversive endeavor. Based on in-depth ethnographic fieldwork, grounded theory analysis, I examine influencers' engagements with selfies on Instagram and their appropriations of sellable objects as tacit labor, as an expression of derived authenticity and reflexivity. Through these practices, influencers achieve subversive frivolity, which I define as the undervisibilized and underestimated generative power of an object or practice arising from its populist discursive framing as marginal, inconsequential, and unproductive. That's a mouthful, and really confusing. I still remember the first time I read the text, I was like, what? It's confusing. So in basic terms, this text argues that micro-celebrities and influencers are focused on commercial, thoughtful, and subversive goals. Everything they do and everything that they post online, be it a tweet, video, or Instagram selfie, and it needs to have an intent. It's not just uploaded because, hey, I look good or whatever, or hey, this is a good memory. Most of the time, there's a commercial reason for that piece of content going up. I also just want to quickly say, when I film videos, sometimes you'll hear after a cut, my voice goes weird. It's because I have bad anxiety. So a lot of the times when I'm filming, I start choking up when I'm talking. So just throwing that out there. So now the term of subversive frivolity, I'll explain it by looking at the definitions for both subversive and also frivolity, and then putting them together to come up with a concrete answer. So subversive is based on subversion, which If you didn't know, it's normally when a figure interferes within politics, someone that aims to threaten or weaken a political party or group. And frivolity is basically behavior that's not serious, it's funny, humorous, not taking things serious at all. So basically, in simple words, subversive frivolity is the act of acting like an amateur or like, a friend or someone that's relatable and going against the grain of what is intended. So think in traditional advertising, there's an air of professionalism, corporate aura. Subversive frivolity argues that people online, influencers, content creators, act like they're amateurs, like they could be your friend that you're having a beer with at the pub or something, yet they're marketing to you as an advertiser, as a brand, nonetheless. And it works because you're no longer seeing them as a brand or as a corporate entity, you're seeing them as a friend, so it works and it's much more effective. So I think the best way to understand this is by looking at a few influencers. I'm going to be showing a few of their videos. You'll get an idea of what subversive frivolity is, because it's better to actually see how it works rather than me just throwing confusing terms at you.
What is this, right? I just relaunched Chamberlain Coffee, the whole company. She's a whole new bitch.
I'm taking this beyond like YouTube music. But guys, if you haven't already, save 23 to your music library. I'm gonna put the link at the top of the description.
Now, I'm not saying you need to do one whole video just around one paid product that you want to recommend, but let's say you are...
So I think the easiest way to understand subversive frivolity is basically when you're watching a video and in the background, you might see a YouTuber's merch hanging up, or there'll be like the YouTuber's like products laying around in the background. Things where their product is laying around and they try to act like they don't notice it, things like that. Or when they're doing like an advertisement, they will do once again the quirky amateur editing style, throw in humor and sarcasm to make it seem like they're relatable, they're amateurs, yet they're selling you a product. Also, I just want to quickly say, any of the content creators that I'm speaking about today, I don't hate. And this is like not dissing any of them. Get your bag, do your thing. But I just want to talk about influencer culture in general because it's always in our face. Ever since social media has been around, influencer culture has been around. And I feel like now influencer culture has come down quite a bit. In the early days, when everyone wanted to be an influencer, it was a lot bigger and it was much more dominating because I think, and obviously this is just a personal thought, that it was easier to make a living off being just an influencer back then, now that there are so many. But my problem with subversive frivolity within influencers is, first of all, if your audience are children, I think it's incredibly horrible that you're advertising to children, because obviously they don't understand the way that adults and teenagers do regarding advertising, and a kid might understand that they're being advertised to when a YouTuber's being upfront about it. Like, hey, this is my merch, go buy it here, like Jake Paul always does. But when it's just like in the background, I like to call passive advertising, kids aren't going to understand. They're just going to see product laying around in the video, and they're not going to understand it's an advertisement. Yeah, hopefully this video wasn't overwhelmingly negative, but I just wanted to talk about it because ever since I took that class, it's just made me think, and I haven't been able to watch YouTubers' videos the same, especially if they are using subversive frivolity. But yeah, let me know your thoughts like always, and my name's writerbard, you can call me Kyle. Stay safe, stay well, and see you guys in the next video, which shouldn't be too long. I'm working on it now too. But yeah, love you all. Bye.